Hey boys and girls, this is Wildman Willis here. I'm doing a review of WWE Stomping Grounds. Well, this was a pay-per-view where the first half was good, and then the second half was just went downhill from that. Cause they was starting off good. I'm gonna go through the matches. They had the cruiserweight title match, Drew Gulak versus Akira Tozawa and Tony Nese. All three men put on a hell of a good match. It could have actually been a match that should have actually been on the pay-per-view instead of being on the pre-show. And Drew Gulak ended up being the new cruiserweight champion. So that was a pretty good match to start off the show. Then you had, to start off the official match, we had Becky Lynch versus Lacey Evans. It was a decent match. Lacey is still green in the ring because one part you could see Becky was calling one of the spot and Lacey messed up on the spot. And you could see that Becky was kind of pissed about that and it showed big time. So, of course, Becky won by submission. So, it was all in all, it was a good match. Then we had Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the New Day. These guys put off a hell of a match. I had no complaint about this match. Everything moved smoothly because these four guys are just excellent in the ring. They've been tagging together so long, both sides. So, I was shocked that they let Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn win the match. And Kevin Owens hit the stunner off of Xavier Woods to win the match. That was a good match. Good tag team match. To me, it seemed like the tag team matches was better than the single matches tonight, in my eyes. Then you had Ricochet versus Samoa Joe for the U.S. title. That was a pretty good match, too. Everybody thinking that Joe was going to win this match. But surprising enough, Ricochet is now your U.S. champion. They put on a good match. Nothing really missing or messed up during that match. So I was glad about that. Glad they did something with Ricochet. And they going to set up with AJ Styles versus Ricochet. We already know those two are going to kill it in the ring. Then to me, the match of the night was Daniel Bryan and Rowan versus Heavy Machinery. Heavy Machinery was supposed to be going in as the good guys, but they was in Tacoma, Washington. So the fans basically cheered Daniel Bryan through this whole match. Both teams were doing great. I know some people ain't really on the Heavy Machinery bandwagon yet, but they put on a hell of a good match. The fans was just into Daniel Bryan. He's supposed to be the heel, but they was just loving the match. I enjoyed it for what it was. It was a pretty good match. To me, it was the match of the night. Then after that, everything went downhill to me. You had Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. To me, the match wasn't all that great because it seemed like they were scared to really do some bumps with Alexa Bliss. I don't think they were taking really that many chances with her right now because it seemed like she can get concussions real easy, and it showed during this match. So it wasn't no oomph or nothing in it. So that's the way I look at it. And I think a lot of people was tired from that tag team match. Then we had Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre with Shane in Drew's corner. Basically, they did everything they could to Roman. And Roman just pulled a Super Cena, get his ass whooped, take coast to coast. Shane doing everything, just pop up magically and win the match. it was better than their WrestleMania match, but Drew really needed this win in my eyes, I think. And the way they made the match seem this was supposed to be the last match. But after the match, Shane said that they're going to do a 2-on-1 match, Drew and Shane versus Roman on Raw. So basically, Roman's win really didn't mean nothing. So this match was basically pointless. They should have just let Drew win the match and call it a day. But it was better than their WrestleMania match. But it's the Super Senior formula, which everybody complained about back in the day. Every time Cena would get beat up like I don't know what and come out of nowhere and win. This is the same shit they do with Roman, and it's corny as fuck. So then they had Kofi Kingston versus Dolph Ziggler in their cage match. Nothing really exciting happened in the match. Kofi won. They didn't really do anything spectacular with the cage. The only thing that was halfway interesting was the fact that Kofi jumped over Dolph to get out the cage to win the match. So nothing spectacular. Then he had Seth Rollins defeat Baron Corbin. I don't know why they had Lacey Evans as the guest referee. That kind of made Corbin look stupid. But then it kind of did make him look smart. Because if he would have picked Brock Lesnar, if he would have won the match, he would have took the title off of him. So they set up that Lacey was doing all the usual crap. Notice, change the match to no disqualification, no count out. And the match was getting boring as hell. The only thing that saved it was when Becky Lynch came out. That woke the crowd up. Because they kept on acknowledging that her and Seth were together, boyfriend and girlfriend. And they dragging this shit into the ground already. So, yeah. Seth wins. Whoop-de-doo. But yeah, they started off real good with this pay-per-view, but after that, everything just went downhill in my eyes. And you also gotta talk about the fact that they had to sell the tickets 2 for 1. Also got sources to say that they was giving out free tickets at the Tacoma Mall to fill the seats. They basically, when people was coming in, if they had a cheap seat, they actually brought people down so they could fill the seats to make the arena look like it was full. Most of the top was tapered off. And I also heard that some of the 200 sections are also tapered off too. So all in all, they just didn't. People ain't want to see the show because it was a bunch of rematches, and that's their fault. WWE just messing up. I don't know what to say, but the first half of this pay-per-view was way better than the second half. Once Daniel Bryan's match went off, that's when everything started going downhill to me. This is Wildman Willis signing off. See you next time.